When it's written, the biography on my next guest will read like a who's who of rock and roll history. It'll include every name from B.B. King and Elvis to Jimi Hendrix and, of course, his ex-wife, Tina Turner. Yet, in spite of his induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1989, he says the best thing to happen to him the last 15 years was being sent to prison.
I went to see him. My first impression, there he was. His suit fit him immaculate, you know, because he was so tiny. He was like a model or something, you know, and I said, you know. So he's standing on top of a piano, and the band is really going, you know, and I felt like, wow, I'd like to sing with this band, you know. Well, I don't have any plans. My plans are Ike's plans, which are his plans is that the studio is successful, which I think it will be. And Ike wants, like for instance, when we were with the Rolling Stones, and Ike walked out and he looked at that place, and all those people, like so many people there that the floor, the concrete floor was like moving, you know. He says, I want Ike and Tina to fill this place. Just Ike and Tina.
Tina Turner, what was your issue with her? You call her a witch?
Yeah. I'll tell you why. Because when I was in 7th grade, junior high school, in South Central L.A., me and my homeboys, we'd go play at the playground or something, and Ike would drive by in his Rolls Royce with his homeboy. He'd stop. He'd go get his homeboy to go get hamburgers and fries. He'd sit there and talk to us for 2 hours, tell us to be drug-free, stay in school, keep your stuff together. He'd talk to us about the problems we were having. You know, he was always a nice guy. And then Tina had a matching Rolls Royce. The windows are tinted. If you wave at Ike, he'd roll the window down and smile at you, stop and talk. Unless he'd say, I'm busy, guys, you know, like, I'll be back. You know, how long you gonna be here? You know, and he'd come back, just like you said. Tina would start calling you greasy, black, pickaninny, she didn't give you permission to talk to her. Like, damn. You know, she called you all kinds of bad things. And this isn't one or two instances, because Ike, you know, he was out there doing what people are supposed to do about uplifting the community. You talk about the young men out there that need some guidance. Ike was always out there telling us to be straight, stay in school, work hard, and it's all about your mind, not how much you can hustle. What are you doing to make a difference?
Reporter Mary Major Jack gets Ike to open up and talk about the alleged beatings he gave his former wife, Tina. In today's Star Profile segment, we get a closer look at Ike Turner.
This singer is certainly one of the most dehumanized figures in rock history. They mention his name, and the first association that comes to most anyone's mind is abusive husband, not soul star or rock and roll pioneer. According to the story, this musician was a tyrannical ogre who used physical violence and psychological intimidation to control his infinitely more talented wife while indulging his own appetites for cocaine and women at every turn. That's not entirely accurate, although as we know how the saying goes, there are always three sides to a story. It's Tina's side, Ike's side, and the truth. By most accounts, this vocalist did quite a bit to earn that reputation, as he spent time in prison due to his drug problems. As a pianist in the early 50s, this musician helped lay the groundwork for rock and roll. He was also a distinctive guitarist with a bite, nasty tone, and he was one of the first to make the whammy bar an integral part of his sound. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Ike Turner. Before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push the notification bell to be sure you won't miss on any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. Born Isaiah Luster Turner Jr. on November 5th, 1931 in Clarksdale, Mississippi, the heart of the segregated South, to Beatrice Cushenberry, a seamstress, and Isaiah Luster Turner, a Baptist minister. His parents were Creole. Turner was the younger of their two children. His sister, Lee Ethel Knight, was some 10 years older. When Turner filed for his first passport in the 1960s, he learned that his name was listed as Ike Worcester Turner. By that time, Both of his parents had passed, so he couldn't confirm the origin of his name. Blues historian Ted Jardowski claimed that Turner's father passed in an industrial accident. According to Turner, he witnessed his father beaten and left to pass by a white man, which unquestionably hardened Turner. His mother remarried an artist named Philip Reese, whom Turner described as a violent drunk. Turner knocked Reese out with a length of timber and fled to Memphis for a few days before coming home. Despite their tumultuous relationship, Turner moved his stepfather into one of his St. Louis residences when his mother passed in 1959, and he cared for him until his passing in 1961. Turner described how at the age of 6, he was S.A. by a woman named Miss Boozy. As she walked from her house to school, she would offer him to help feed her chickens before taking them to bed. This happened on a daily basis for quite some time. Turner was also S.A. by another middle-aged woman, Miss Reedy, before he was 12. Reflecting on these experiences, he stated, "That's probably why every relationship I was in was surrounded by sex. Sex was power to me." Turner attended Booker T. Washington Elementary School and then was promoted to Myrtle Hall in the 6th grade. He dropped out of school in the 8th grade and started working as an elevator operator at the Alcazar Hotel in downtown Clarksdale. During breaks, he would watch DJ John Friskillo play songs at the hotel's radio station, WROX. WROX is notable being the first radio station in Mississippi to hire black DJ Early Wright. Friskillo recognized Turner and put him to work, teaching him the ins and outs of the control room. Soon, he was left to play albums while Friskillo sipped coffee. The station management then offered Turner a position as the DJ on the late afternoon shift. On his Jive Till 5 show, he played a wide variety of music, including Roy Milton and Louis Jordan, as well as early rockabilly albums. He formed his first band while still in high school, and by the late 40s had assembled an outfit dubbed the Kings of Rhythm. In 1951, the Kings of Rhythm traveled to Memphis to record at Sam Phillis's Sun Studio. Their original tune, Rocket 88, was recorded with a lead vocal by sax player Jackie Brenston, and as a result, was released under the name Jackie Brenston and his Delta Cats.
You women have heard of jalopies, you've heard the noise they make, but let me introduce my new Rocket 88. Yes, it's straight, just one way. Everybody likes this Rocket 88.
Rocket 88 zoomed to the top of the R&B charts and is today regarded by many critics as being quite possibly the first true rock and roll record. Brenston subsequently departed for an unsuccessful solo career. While Turner and his band became session regulars around Memphis, they went on to back legendary bluesmen like Howlin' Wolf, Elmore James, Willis Rush, Robert Nighthawk, Buddy Guy, and Sonny Boy Williamson II, plus an assortment of Sun artists. During the early 50s, Turner switched from piano to guitar and also doubled as a talent scout for the Biara Brothers Los Angeles-based Modern Records, where he helped get early breaks for artists like Howlin' Wolf and B.B. King. During the mid-1950s, Turner relocated the Kings of Rhythm to East St. Louis, where they ascended to the top of the local R&B scene. Brenston rejoined in 1955 and the group resumed their session activities. Turner sometimes released recordings under his own name on labels like Flair, RPM, and Federal, as well as under the names Ikurin and Loverboy. During this time, the Kings of Rhythm used a review structure for their live performances and collaborated with a rotating cast of vocalists. Anna Mae Bullock, a young vocalist from Tennessee, met Turner in 1956. She joined the review and moved into Turner's home after getting pregnant by the band saxophonist Raymond Hill. Anna Mae and Turner originally started out as friends, but shortly after, she and Turner established their own relationship, had a child, and married in 1958. Tina Turner's new and latest wife received her first chance to sing lead on a song in late 1959 when she recorded "A Fool in Love" for the Sue label.
You just a fool. You know you're in love. What you say? One more time. You know you love him, but you can't understand why he treats you like you do when he's such a good man. Listen, he's not.
The song, which was released the next year, became an instant hit on the R&B charts, peaking at number 2. Turner thought he had uncovered a potential breakthrough star and renamed the band the Ike and Tina Turner Revue, with Tina serving as the show's focal point. It took some time for everyone to find their bearings, but the singles continued coming. I Idolize You, It's Gonna Work Out Fine, and Poor Fool, and Try La 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 all reached the R&B top 10, a streak that lasted until 1962. All except It's Gonna Work Out Fine were written by Turner, danced with Ike and Tina Turner and their Kings of Rhythm band. An all-instrumental album released in 1962 featured Turner's unexpected guitar technique at its finest. As Ike and Tina became one of the hardest working, most popular artists on the so-called Chitlin circuit, they recorded for various independent labels over the following few years, but as Turner's own material became more widely available, their chart fortunes dipped slightly. At the same time, the lure of celebrity proved too much for Turner. He acquired a severe cocaine addiction, which combined with his strong nature and quick temper both made for a combustible combination. According to Tina's memoirs, Turner became increasingly aggressive, regularly striking her and even burning her with cigarettes and coffee when she misbehaved. Turner rejects Tina's allegations, but it's worth remembering that he had a reputation for being tough. When producer Phil Spector attempted a commercial comeback with Tina in 1966, he reached an agreement with Turner in exchange for being allowed to record Tina. Ike would receive full credit and billing on the records, but he would not be allowed to enter the studio or interfere with the finished recordings. Spector's work with Tina resulted in the epic River Deep, Mountain High, which is now recognized by many as one of rock's finest singles, with no input from Ike, which of course did not sit well with him. When Ike and Tina were invited to open for the Rolling Stones in 1969, Turner understood that the Revue's raw, ugly style of soul music had become more appealing to white rock audiences as circumstances changed. Turner added modern rock and roll covers to the Revue's repertoire, giving them a fresh lease on life. Versions of Come Together, I Want to Take You Higher.
Here come old flat top, he come moving up slowly. He's got choo-choo eyeballs, he won't holy-roly. He's got ham down to his knees. Got to be a joker, he just do what he please.
And Proud Mary revived Ike and Tina's chart fortunes, especially Proud Mary, which became their first top 5 pop single in 1971 and also won a Grammy. Turner's offstage difficulties, however, were taking a toll on the act 1973's In Nutbush City Limits. A song written by Tina would be their final major hit, and Tina walked out on him a 1975 tour. The Turners' divorce was formalized the next year, and Ike never fully recovered from his loss. For a spell, he stopped traveling to focus on running Bollock, the recording studio he founded in Los Angeles in 1970. He was too acclimated to life on the road, however, and established a new band that predictably failed to match his previous success. He also recorded a couple of solo recordings on Red Lightning. Turner's cocaine addiction destroyed a majority of his finances, and his recording studio burned down in 1982. He ran afoul of the law as well and was arrested numerous times on mostly drug-related offenses.
Why was prison good for you, Ike?
Because, man, I had taken my family, my wife, my career, taken everything, man, for granted. And, you know, I started living just for the the dope stuff, you know. I go to bed with it, wake up, going and get it, man. I lost the direction of life, man.
Lost everything in your life, your family?
Yeah, I lost it all, man. You know, it's
Career?
like, yeah, career. Well, everything was secondary, man, but it. You know, and in there, man, it's like I got back, you know, like you get up in the morning, you go to work, and you know, you eat 3 meals a day, and then you go to sleep at 10:30. And
It organizes you.
Yeah, and then I got rid of the mental addiction. You know, it's like chicken place like that. They can help you with the other part, but not the mental. You got to get rid of that.
When he and Tina were jointly inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1991, he was unable to attend Monty because he was serving prison time. When Tina's autobiography was adapted into the 1993 film, What's Love Got to Do with It? Turner signed away all of his rights, allowing the filmmakers to take narrative liberties for dramatic effect if they chose.
Today, Ike Turner says he has heard enough. He's furious and speaking out to Phil Schumann in this extra exclusive.
All this is bullshit. I'm saying when I said bullshit, nobody made Tina stay there for 18 years.
Ike Turner is an angry man.
You know, my name has been drugged through the mud. I want to straighten this crap out about what I am.
The target of his rage, his ex-wife, Tina.
I just feel used, and I don't like it.
In the 60s and 70s, the Ike and Tina Turner review set the rock world on fire. But when they divorced in 1978, Tina claimed her life with Ike was a living hell. In her book, I, Tina, she brands him an abusive, drug-addicted womanizer. The movie of their relationship, What's Love Got to Do with It, went even further. One graphic scene showed Ike raping Tina, a claim he vehemently denies.
That's ridiculous, man. She know I've never raped her.
Ike says after that movie, he became public enemy number one.
It assassinated my
It
career.
portrayed you as a wife beater, drug abuser.
Yeah, well, you know.
Violent man.
Yeah, man, it got me everything that I'm not.
But you don't deny those things.
No, I don't deny. No. As I said, I did a lot of wrong things right, man. I did them real right, you know. But I can't undo them. All I can say is I'm sorry.
Is I'm sorry enough, do you think?
Well, but what else can you do?
How about write his own book? In his candid new autobiography, Taking Back My Name, Ike confesses to being a womanizer, drug abuser, admits his relationship with Tina was volatile, sometimes violent, but he was no monster.
We together 24 hours a day, like anybody gonna have the ups and downs and stuff, you know. But man, it was like they just took it and stretched it to sell a movie. And the mistake.
Yeah, but I mean, you acknowledge beating her.
But the mistake. No, I ain't never said I beat her. I have slapped her. She have slapped me. I've never said that.
But in Tina's book, she talks about how you beat her with a coat hanger, how you tortured her.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've never read the book, so I can't comment on that.
Are you saying that didn't happen?
No, it didn't happen. And if she said that, she's a liar.
Why would Tina lie about something like that? Ike says to gain sympathy and help launch her solo career.
So don't stay there 18 years and then come up and say, I was the villain. This is a bunch of I'm getting kind of pissed right now.
I noticed.
No, you know, and so don't make me something I'm not. And don't keep banging on me. You know, I got a living to make.
That's why you wrote the book.
Yeah, but I don't give a about the book right now. Wait.
A calmer Ike admits he wasn't thinking too clearly during that part of his life. The fame went to his head, and much of his fortune went up his nose.
I just got into doing cocaine, man, and stuff. And, man, I just went on a 15-year party, man.
A party that landed Ike behind bars during the late 80s, where he says he cleaned up and turned his life around.
Well, you the finest girl I ever saw in my life.
Today, at 68, Ike insists he's a one-woman man, happily married and making music with wife Jeanette, though most of his gigs these days are overseas. Think she's afraid of you?
Heck no. 11 years. 11 years gonna be afraid of what?
You're kind of a powerful guy.
I don't know about that.
What do people have wrong?
Well, they have wrong him being a wife beater. They have wrong that he's this terrible monster, because he's not.
But she cries at home too often.
Maybe so, but it may take a lot more than a book to clean up the tattered reputation of one of rock and roll's pioneers.
She's got the need. Struggle, man, for me to get ahead because of this negative publicity. And all times before, man, I've never tried to defend myself or nothing, man. I was like a little dog with his tail tucked. And my tail is not tucked anymore, man. I have a career, and I'm going to explore it, man.
Turner attempted a comeback after being released from prison. He also remarried and finally overcame his addictions to live a clean, sober life. At first, he tried to keep up with the times musically, but after touring with Joe Louis Walker as a pianist and guitarist, he realized there was more demand for his original style and formed a new version of the Kings of Rhythm. His autobiography, Taking Back My Name, was published by a UK company in 1999, and in 2001 he released a new album, Here Now, which was nominated for a Grammy in the Best Traditional Blues Album category. It was also nominated for several W.C. Handy Awards, the blues equivalent of the Grammys, and took honors for Comeback Album of the Year, Risen with the Blues. Released 5 years later, was nominated for a Grammy in the same category. In the weeks leading up to his passing, Turner became reclusive. On December 10, 2007, he told his assistant, Felina Rasool, that he believed he was dying and would not make it to Christmas. He passed 2 days later, on December 12th, at the age of 76, at his home in San Marcos, California.
Ike Turner, you'll remember him as not only an architect of the music industry, but also as Tina Turner's former husband. We're being told that he died earlier today in San Diego. The news just coming into us at the CNN newsroom. Apparently he lived in San Marcos, which is in northern San Diego County. The coroner saying that he died. We don't know exactly what he died of. We do know that he was 76 years old. And of course you'll remember that he was an icon, really, in the music industry, and especially his relationship with Tina Turner made him famous not only in this country, but around the world. You'll remember that, of course, they broke up, and there was a big movie that was out in, I think, the late 80s or the early 90s called What's Love Got to Do with It?, about their tumultuous life and times. But again, the news coming into CNN.com that Ike Turner is dead at the age of 76.
He was found unalive by his former wife, Ann Thomas. Rasool was also in the house and administered CPR. Turner was pronounced unalived at 11:38 a.m. On January 16, 2008, the San Diego County Medical Examiner's Office reported that Turner had passed from a cocaine overdose. The cause of death for Ike Turner is cocaine toxicity with other significant conditions such as hypertensive cardiovascular disease and pulmonary emphysema. Supervising medical examiner investigator Paul Parker told CNN. His daughter Mia was said to be surprised at the coroner's assessment, believing his advanced stage emphysema was a larger factor. Turner passed without a valid will. Less than a week after his death, his former wife, Audrey Madison Turner, filed a petition stating that he had penned a handwritten will naming her as a beneficiary. In 2009, a judge ruled that the handwritten will was invalid and that Turner's children were legally the direct heirs to his estate. Now, before we go, I have a question for you all. What is your favorite song by Ike Turner?